All right, beautiful. Thank you for joining me and my mom for a restorative yoga class. My name is Holly. My pronouns are she, her. Her name is Molly. Her pronouns are also she, her. And this is a floor-based class. All you need is a yoga mat or carpeted area, and you'll want some pillows and blankets of different sizes. You don't need any fancy yoga bolsters or anything like that, but a couple of household pillows of different sizes. So we're going to start in a seated position. You can sit crisscross applesauce or in Sukhasana, easy pose with one foot in front of the other. You can take a moment to rock back and forth, side to side, and then sit up nice and tall. You can roll your shoulders forward a few times, backward a few times, and just relax your shoulders. Sit up nice and tall. Take an inhale through your nose, and then exhale through your nose. We'll start with a breathing exercise called 4-7-8 breathing. You'll inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold the breath for a count of 7, and then slowly exhale through your mouth for a count of 8. So the idea is you inhale fairly fast, you hold all that good oxygen in your body, and then you slowly exhale, exhaling twice as long as you inhale. When we exhale longer than we inhale, it takes our body into the parasympathetic nervous system response, telling the body that there's no need to fight, flight, or freeze. It might take a few rounds to figure out how fast to inhale versus how fast to exhale, but if after a few rounds of 4-7-8 breathing still doesn't feel right for you, you can keep the ratio, but make it like inhale for 2, hold for 3.5 seconds, and then exhale through your mouth for 4. Okay, you're welcome to close your eyes for 4-7-8 breathing. You can also do a soft fuzzy gaze just beyond the tip of your nose. Seal your lips, relax your jaw. Place your tongue at the roof of your mouth, just behind your teeth, and begin. Inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slowly exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4. Hold for 7. Slowly exhale for 8. Inhale 4. Hold for 7. Exhale through puckered lips for 8. We'll do 2 more minutes of 4-7-8 breathing, inhaling through the nose for 4, holding for 7, and exhaling through puckered lips for 8. Let's do one more full round of 4, 7, 8 breathing. As you're ready, just returning your breath to slow and steady in and out through the nose. At any point in class, you find that your mind really starts to wander or you're having troubles lying still, you can always just return to your breath and take a few slow, intentional breaths, and it helps not just to calm the body, but to still the mind as well. All right. Our first posture of the day is a supported child's pose. So I'll show you what child's pose looks like without props, and then I'll show you how you can add pillows and blankets to make it extra fun for restorative yoga. Child's pose without props. For this one, we're going to have our knees and feet close together, and you'll sink your forehead to the floor and reach your arms forward. With restorative yoga, we get to use like lots of pillows and blankets to make it kind of fun and a little bit more relaxing. So one way that you can use a pillow is to place pillows or blankets in between your thighs and your calves so that there's more support there. You can also place a pillow underneath your chest or under your head. And if you have tight toes, knees, or ankles, you can also roll up your yoga mat or put a small blanket under any of those delicate joints so that you have a little bit of extra padding under there. So make this your own, make it fun. Restorative yoga is meant to be nice and relaxing. Good. And then from here, you're just going to fold forward onto the floor. And a couple options. I like to actually, with my pillows, kind of look to one side, and at the halfway mark, you can look to the other side. You can have your arms forward. You can have your elbows bent, hands close to your face. You can also have your arms down by your side, palms facing up in what's called fetal pose. We're going to hold here for a total of 5 minutes. So physically in this posture, you're starting to lengthen and stretch out your spine, right? Stretching out from the hips, the lower back, the middle back, the upper back. You're also opening through the toes, the ankles, the knees, right? And especially if the arms are forward, you're working on the shoulders as well. But my understanding of restorative yoga, right? I'm not that I am the end all be all authority on it, but to me, restorative yoga is less about the physical benefits of yoga asanas, yoga postures, and more about the like mental, emotional, spiritual benefits of the postures. So in this style of yoga, we'll hold postures for long periods of time. Again, we're holding this for a full 5 minutes, but it's not so much about getting, you know, the deepest stretch you've ever had. It's more about, can you use the postures? Can you use pillows and blankets and the floor to really just allow yourself to feel supported and relaxed? And if at any point you find that you're like really gritting your teeth, or you're having trouble breathing, or it feels like too much of a stretch, go ahead and like add more pillows, right? Or remove a pillow if that would feel better, or switch it up. And then just make your way back into stillness. Again, if you find your mind wandering or your body fidgeting, you can just return to your breath. And stillness is a practice, just like yoga is a practice, or, you know, running is a practice. Stillness is also a practice. So if you find that it's hard to be still, I'm right there with you. That's why we do yoga, right? Just to practice that. So being a little bit more gentle with ourselves, a little bit more compassionate. We're already at the halfway mark of this posture. Again, if it's feeling like too much of a stretch, or you're having trouble breathing or clenching your jaw, you're welcome to add or remove pillows. Or if you, like me, have your head looking to one side, you can lift your head and look to the other side, other ear on your mat. About 1 more minute left in the posture. See if you can relax just a little bit deeper, letting go of any tension in the body, really just sinking into the floor, melting into your breath. Take a slow inhale through your nose, and an intentionally slow exhale through the nose. Gently lift your head, looking slightly forward. Walk your hands in under your shoulders and ever so slowly and carefully press yourself up into a seated position. There's no rush. You're welcome to keep a pillow for underneath your head or your feet. Otherwise, you can remove your props, setting them to the side, and make your way onto your back for our first Savasana of class. So after, folding forward for so long, right, it's nice to release our body weight from the lower body. So you might feel like a rush of blood into your toes here. We're of course stretching and lengthening the spine. The floor is a wonderful prop in and of itself. Let the floor hold you up. You're welcome to have your arms and legs long down by your side. You can also place a small pillow or blanket under your lower back and or bend your legs, feet on the floor, let your knees rest together. And this will also take pressure off of the lower back. Again, you can always keep a pillow under your head or under your knees if that feels good as well. This is really just meant to be a luxurious hour for you to treat yourself, to move your body in a way that feels pleasant, and to really soothe the mind by relaxing the body. I was reading today about nervous system responses to stress, and it's there's this idea that like 80% of how we self-soothe or self-regulate a dysregulated nervous system, 80% of that actually comes from our body, which means, if you're in a stressful situation, you can rationalize your way out of it. You can tell yourself everything is going to be okay. But how we actually calm our nervous system, that's only like 20% of how it works. 80% is like if we're in a stressful situation and we can take a few breaths or relax our jaw or let our shoulders be heavy, that's the majority of how we regulate our nervous system. So part of what we're doing in yoga is practicing how to relax our body in order to kind of like relax the nervous system and relax the mind. Bend your knees if they're not already. You're going to roll off to one side. There's no rush. Take your time. And as it feels good, you're going to press yourself up. Great. Next, we're going to literally kick our feet up. So you'll want to grab some pillows. You have some pillows behind you. You want to grab as many pillows as you want. You can make this as high as you want. If you have a wall, you could even bring your legs up the wall. Also, spoiler alert, we will be doing wall yoga next Tuesday if you'd like to join. But here, you can just place as many pillows or blankets as you want for your feet. And if you'd like, you can also have a pillow for underneath your head. And you're basically going to bring your hips close to these pillows and then kick your feet up. All right. And then you're just going to lie back on your back. And the idea here is we're just elevating the feet a little bit higher than the head to bring extra blood into the heart space, into the hips, into the abdomen. You can have your arms down by your side. If it feels good, you can even have your arms out in a big expansive gesture. You're welcome to place a blanket over your body, whatever feels good to you. We're going to hold here for 5 minutes. Sometimes restorative yoga is referred to as napping yoga. So if you ever want to take a nap, you're welcome to. I really believe that, like, I don't know, if our body is tired and our body's telling us we need a nap, this is a really good opportunity to do that. So if you happen to wake up at the end of class and you're still like that, and still in this shape, that's perfectly okay. As we settle into stillness, right? Notice if the body's starting to fidget or if the mind is kind of running around all over the place. And try to still your body first and see how that might affect your mind. Stillness is a practice, but it's also, I think, pretty underappreciated in our society. And so sometimes, especially if we were running around all day, when we enter into stillness, it can be really jarring. And sometimes even like feelings of anxiety can come up. If that ever happens for you in a restorative yoga class, there's nothing wrong with you, right? It's your brain's job to protect you. And again, when you go from running around to being still, your brain might, set off some alarms of like, what's going on? So if that happens, right, you can just gently tell yourself, I'm okay. I know that I'm safe. I know that I'm in my body. Then again, you can see if you can just relax your body a little bit deeper, and then we'll return into that stillness, into that breath. We're about halfway through the posture. Notice where you might be holding on to tension, maybe in your feet or your inner thighs, your chest or your shoulders. See if you can just really give your body permission to relax with the knowledge that you're safe, with the knowledge that you're just practicing relaxation. Breathing in and out through the nose. A little less than a minute in the posture. Just relaxing through your hands and feet. Let your head be heavy. A slow inhale through your nose, body rise. And an even slower exhale. Just an intentionally long exhale. Good. There's no one way to get out of the posture. I like to do it kind of unceremoniously by just kicking the pillows out from under my feet. So you can kick your pillows to the side. To me, that's the easiest way to do it. And then just return into your Savasana. And again, for Savasana, you can have your arms and legs long, or you can bend your knees and let your feet rest together. You're welcome to keep a pillow under your head, under your lower back, maybe one pillow under your feet. And as we return our feet down to the floor, right, again, there's this idea of a rush of blood towards the lower body. Especially in long held yoga postures, we often let blood pool in one part of our body. And then so when we release out into a neutral position, that blood recirculates. Okay, bend your knees if they're not already. Roll off to one side, maybe the side you haven't rolled off to if you remember. And slowly make your way up into a seated position. Good. Okay, next we are going to do a side body stretch, which we can optionally take into a spine twist. You're going to sit facing forward, and you're going to have either one large pillow or two pillows to your right. So I'm facing you, so I have these pillows to my right. From here, you're going to bend your knees and start to turn onto your side so that your hips stack on top of one another. I like to have two pillows so that I can have my arm in between the pillows. So you have one pillow for under the middle torso and one pillow for under your head. You might also even add a second pillow for under your head or middle torso, depending on your body proportions. You can also place a pillow between your knees. And then from here, once your bottom arm is underneath you, option to just have your top arm on the floor or on the pillow, or if you'd like more of a side body stretch and shoulder opener, you can reach your left arm long overhead. Good. We're going to hold here for 3 minutes, and at the 3-minute mark, we can either stay here for longer, or we'll turn it into an optional spine and abdomen twist. So in this posture, right, when we're lying on our side with the pillows, it's just a gentle side body stretch. So our bottom side of the body is slightly compressed and top side of the body stretching. And especially with your top arm overhead, it's a nice subtle shoulder opener. If it doesn't feel good to your shoulder, right, again, you can have your hand on the floor or the pillow closer to your chest than overhead. And again, I like to place a pillow in between my knees so that my hips kind of even out. You're welcome to stay here in our side body stretch and shoulder opener, or we can experiment with turning this into a little bit of a twist. If your left arm is overhead, slowly bring your left hand down outside of your shoulder on the floor. Push your left hand into the floor, gently lift your head and side body and take your right arm out from under you, placing your hands on either side of your torso. And you're going to start to turn your abdomen down towards the floor, towards your pillows. Option to have your forehead on your pillow, or option to look to one side. If you want it to be a full spine twist, you can look in the opposite direction from your knees. So if your knees are facing right, you would look to the right, to the other side. If your knees are facing left, you'd look to the other side, I should say. Again, you can also have your forehead on your pillows. And spine twists aren't just good for back health, they're also abdominal wall twists, right? They're good for digestion, particularly during seasonal transitions and this time where it's warm one day and then cold one day and then sunny and then rainy. Our digestion can get a little bit confused. So spine twists are just a nice way to physically reset kind of the internal organs and the intestines. We'll hold here for 2 more minutes. Notice where you might be holding on to tension. Let it go. And if you ever need to adjust how you're lying to get a little bit more comfortable, please do so, and then make your way back into stillness. Okay, gently lift your head, look forward. Place your hands under your shoulders. Slowly press yourself up. There's no rush. And remove any pillows or blankets that you have. Again, keeping any that you might want for your Savasana. And then turn, lie on your back. So nice reset button here after stretching the side body, twisting the spine, twisting the abdomen, right? Should feel good just to lie on your back. Let everything kind of reset and realign. Again, just allowing the floor to hold you up. All right, you can bend your knees, roll off to one side. Slowly press yourself up. And we'll do the other side of the posture. You are either, welcome to place your pillows on the same side and face away from you. I will continue to face you. And keep in mind that this side might necessitate a different shape or different amounts of, pillows and blankets, right? So have that in mind. Okay. Perfect. Again, you're going to lie with facing forward, bend your knees, slowly come onto your side. You can place pillows or blankets in between your knees or extra one under your head. You can bring your left arm underneath you. An option to have your right hand on the floor or pillow next to you, or reach your right arm long overhead, right? And we're not symmetrical, so this side might feel different from the other side, and that's okay. You might know why that is, right? It might be an injury or surgery that you've had in the past, or you might just be realizing right now, right shoulder is a lot tighter than left shoulder, and that's an okay place to be too. Yoga offers us tools for observation, right? Observing our body, observing our mind, our heart, our spirit. Yoga offers us tools to heal ourselves, both in body, mind, and spirit. And yoga also offers us tools of acceptance to accept, my right shoulder might always be tighter than my left shoulder, and that's okay too. It's giving us, again, the opportunity to observe, to change what we can, and to accept what we can't. Hold in here for 2 more minutes. All you have to do is breathe. Option to stay here in our side body shoulder stretch, or turn this into a spine and abdominal wall twist. If your right arm is overhead, slowly returning your right hand to the floor close to your chest shoulder. Press your right hand into the floor gently, lift your head and upper body, slide your left arm out from under you, and start to turn your abdomen down towards the floor, down towards your pillows. Again, you can look to one side or have your forehead on your pillow, and we'll hold here for another 2 minutes. See if you can relax just a little bit deeper, relaxing through the feet, the calves, the knees, and quads. Soften through your hips and your seat, abdomen and spine. Relaxing through the shoulders and chest, arms and hands. Let your head be heavy. As you're ready, slowly look forward. Walk your hands in under your shoulders and take your time pressing yourself back up. You can remove your pillows and lie on your back. Make your way into stillness, slowing down the breath so you can slow down the mind. As you're ready, you're going to roll off to one side and once again make your way into a seated position. Okay, next we're going to do a supported hip opener. So you're going to sit on your butt. You're going to have one pillow for underneath your head, and then place two pillows on either sides of your body. From here, you're going to bend your knees with your feet on the floor and let your knees start to drop out to the side so that your knees come to rest on the pillows. This is sometimes called butterfly pose. And, in some versions of this, right, we don't use a prop in our, especially for hyperflexible folks, the knees can drop all the way down. Again, the goal of this posture is not to get like the deepest stretch to the hips of all time. The goal is just a gentle stretch. And so having these pillows on either sides of our knees helps the hyperflexible folks get a little bit less of a stretch, and the less mobile folks get a more supported hip opener. You're also welcome to place a pillow or pillows underneath your feet if that helps as well. And then again, a pillow for underneath your head, and you're just going to lie down onto your back. And from here, if you'd like, you can place one hand over your heart space and one hand over your abdomen. And we're just going to hold here for 5 minutes. This is a nice hip opener, right? We tend to carry a lot of tension. Some people even say we carry emotion in our hips. So when we open through that part of the body, we just start to release some tension. And sometimes that can come out as an involuntary nervous system response, such as the urge to like laugh or cry. So if any sort of, yoga posture you're in ever elicits an emotional reaction, or any other sort of reaction, right? I often get like a temperature change or a different part of my body. I'll feel kind of like open or stretch out. All of these things are normal. It's normal to feel something really intense in your body during a yoga posture. And it's also really normal to feel something subtle or not even to feel much at all. And these are all okay, right? Part of yoga is just accepting our own unique experience in a posture and remembering that my experience in this hip opener is probably different from yours. And my experience with this hip opener today will probably be different from the next time I practice it, right? So not only are we not comparing ourselves to others, but we're also not comparing ourselves to like past or future versions of ourselves. We're really just meeting ourselves here with breath through the nose and with a lot of compassion and acceptance. About 1 minute left in the posture, just relaxing a little bit deeper. Take a slow inhale through your nose. An even slower exhale. To come out of this posture, I like to actually place my hands on either sides of my thighs, and with the help of my hands and elbows, bring the knees back together. And from here, you can kick aside any pillows that you want. And then return into your Savasana. Sometimes we feel the release from a posture as much as the posture itself. So again, after that hip opener, as the hips return to a more neutral position, you might notice, like, again, a change in temperature in your hips or your glutes, right? Or, certain other part of your body kind of stretches out or releases. Or again, you might feel a certain emotion or nothing at all. These are all normal. Our last active posture of the day is a supported back bend. Once again, just rolling off to one side at your own leisure, pressing yourself up. Okay. And for this back bend, you're going to place, one or two pillows right behind your butt, and then another one or two pillows for underneath your head. The idea is you'll have a big pillow for underneath your middle back so that your heart really opens up, and then one or two other small pillows for underneath your head, because you don't want your head to be hanging all the way off. So make sure that your head is supported. And you are always welcome to grab a blanket for your body as well. And from here, you're just going to lie on your back. Again, it might take a little bit of time to figure out how many pillows you need for under your head versus under your middle back. You are welcome to have your legs straight on the floor, or you can keep your knees bent with your feet on the floor. Both good options. We're just going to make our way into stillness here for 5 minutes. And the same way that, hip openers can release tension and emotion, same thing with back bends, especially as we come out of the winter, where we tend to hunch forward when we're cold, right? Doing these back bends, opening through the front of our body, can make us feel some kind of way, and that is okay. You're welcome to have your arms down by your side. You can also have them out to the side in a big expansive gesture, whichever feels good for you. And then you'll just settle back into your stillness, back into your breath. There's a Zen story that I've told some of you before, but it goes something like this. Back in ancient times, this farmer in the countryside, has a horse, and the horse, gets out of the stable and runs away. And the farmer's neighbor sees it happen and comes up to him, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, how horrible, your horse ran away. That's awful." And the farmer goes, "We'll see." And the next day, the horse returns with a friend. So now the farmer has doubled his amount of horses. And his neighbor sees and runs over, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, what fortune. That's incredible, right? You've doubled the horses. Who knew?" And the farmer goes, "We'll see." And the next day, the farmer's son is trying to break the new horse and train him. And he falls off the horse and breaks his leg. Neighbor runs over. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That's horrible about your son. I hope he's okay. How horrible. Farmer goes, we'll see. And then the next day, the army comes to town because there's actually a war going on, and they're trying to enlist like every eligible young man into the military, but they can't enlist the farmer's son because he's broken his leg, so he's spared from war. And the moral of the story, right, is we can all drive ourselves crazy with trying to assign judgment to things or trying to anticipate what comes next. But this farmer's will see is a really great way out of suffering, right? Because especially in Buddhism, where like our suffering comes from, attachment to outcomes, when we just detach from the outcomes and tell ourselves, we'll see, becomes a little bit easier to let go of this idea of control that we've never really had to begin with. And gosh, especially these days, there is so much that we don't know. And of course, it's human nature to want to know and to want to control and judge and see the future, but we really can't, right? And that story reminds me that sometimes in life, the best thing we can do is just say, we'll see, right? I'll see how it goes. I don't know much, but I know that the sun will rise tomorrow. I don't know much, but I know that this moment will pass and something else will take its place. And things like breath, yoga, mindfulness help us to stay open to that. Things like backbends literally help our heart spaces to stay open, right? My heart is stretching out right now. And they literally help us to kind of let go of that nervous energy where we tend to hunch forward and get anxious. So we're on many different levels here, keeping our hearts open, keeping our minds open, and relaxing a little bit deeper at the same time for one more minute. Take a slow inhale through your nose, body rise. Even slower exhale, body fall. There's no one right way to come out of this posture. You could elbow your way up if you want. My preferred method is to bend your legs if they're not already, so your feet are on the floor. Actively press your feet into the floor. Keep your head on the pillows underneath your head, but lift your hips. And then one at a time, you can remove the pillows from underneath the middle back. And then lift your head, and one at a time, you can release any pillows from underneath your head that you'd like to. This is our final Savasana. You can keep a blanket over your body or drape one over your body if you haven't already. Again, you can place a pillow under your head, under your back, under your legs, really making this your own, taking ownership of your yoga class. Great. From here, you can close your eyes. You can open your arms and legs as much as you'd like. Take a nice, easy breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Breathe in. And if it feels good or right, you can even exhale through your mouth, sighing it out. If that felt really meaningful, you can do it again, inhaling through the nose. Anything you want to let go of, let it go through the exhale breath. And seal your lips and return your breath to normal in and out through the nose. Yesterday did what it did. Tomorrow's going to do what it does. So you might as well just be here and enjoy this wild ride. And remember to breathe, right? And remember that when we intentionally slow our breath, relax our shoulders, soften our jaw, we send a signal to our nervous system that we're safe. And then it becomes a really good confirmation loop of the more our body relaxes, the more our mind relaxes. And the more the mind relaxes, the more the body relaxes. And that doesn't always fix every problem in the world, but it makes it all a little bit more manageable. Breathing in, emptying out, and all is coming. You can stay in your final Savasana for as long as you'd like. You can even take a nap. When you do choose to get up, I encourage you to sit up for a while before you stand up because we've been on the floor. Make sure that you are drinking lots of water throughout your evening, telling yourself nice things, being good to yourself. And I hope to see you all soon. Bye, friends.